What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Game Time Live. We are here on a wonderful Friday afternoon. I am here with my co-host Darrell. We got an NBA live stream for you today. Not going to be on here. We're aiming for about 45 minutes. Want to make this quick. We've got a busy Friday in Indiana. You know, the weather's pretty bad, so I think we both got some things we want to get done before the weather even gets worse tomorrow. Darrell is in a better mood. I got him to laugh a little bit before we got on the live stream, so he's still
Man,
he's still
bro,
laughing.
I needed it. I
So,
needed it, man. Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. This weather is crazy. Got in last night from a work trip, man, which was a good trip. Um, weather was a lot warmer where I was at. Can you hear me okay?
yeah,
Weather was a lot warmer where I was at, and to get home, and all of a sudden it's in the 20s today. It's going to drop some more tomorrow. More snow and ice, supposedly. What I'm more disappointed about than anything, I made a commitment to this guy that coaches in Richmond. I forget his name. It escapes me right now. I can't help me with his name. What's his name? This guy in
Coach
Richmond.
Chester.
Yeah. I'm kidding, Coach. That I was going to be there on the 13th for the game at 1:00. It's their first conference game, but we've got about an hour drive from here, just from my house to Richmond, and I don't think we're going to make it, man. With the impending weather continuing, I don't know that something's going to work. So we may have to take a rain check. I know they've got a game on the 19th. That's on that Friday. I may have to do something. It's supposed to warm up too, and maybe make that 19th game. Because I told him I was going to get out there, and I want to get out there and support him and his team as well too. So
Yeah,
that's my biggest problem with the weather.
even I'm the broadcaster, but even I'm like, man, I don't want to.
Do it
I
like
don't
they
know.
did during COVID. Do it like they did during COVID. You have your monitor at home and just.
I don't know how I'm going to get home. That's what I'm worried about. I'll get there on time. I can get there before, but it's about going home where it's like, man, I'm not going to be able to get home if I go.
That's a long Uber drive.
Well, I got to drive, and I'm like, man, I'm not trying to. I'm not a bad driver, but driving in heavy snow is not my specialty at all.
No one likes that. No one likes it. Well, except for those people that are a little bit crazy, but that's their issue, though, right?
Yeah. So, Darrell, this is an NBA episode, mainly an NBA episode here today. We're gonna talk about everything. The play-in quarterfinals happened this week. We've got the semifinals kicking off. I believe today and tomorrow. I need to look at the schedule, and then obviously the play-in tournament final will begin today. The last 2 years, you saw the Lakers win it the first year, the Bucks won it last year over the Thunder, and now it looks like, in my opinion, the Thunder are going to win this tournament. You've got the Knicks and the Magic on one side, the Thunder and the Spurs on the other side. The Spurs beat the Lakers, and Spurs beat the Lakers with no Wemby. Thunder blow out the Suns. But the big question, and I posed it in the thumbnail, Darrell, are the Thunder going to beat the Warriors' regular season record of 73-9? A lot of people say they are on track, if you look at the statistics, to win 77 games. I'm going to say, do you think they get over that 73-9 mark this season? They're 25-1 right now, and their only loss was to the Portland Trailblazers.
The question came up last night when Reg and I were on Cott's Corner. I mentioned 75 games. I didn't know they were on 77 game pace, right? I want to say yes, because as dominating as they've been, that makes me want to say yes. With that said, as the season goes on, you get a little bit bored with the season. You know you're going to be a probably number one seed by middle of February. They'll probably have so much gap that by middle of February, end of February, it's over. And then I think at that point, maybe they may not rest their players for games, but instead of Shai playing 35 minutes a game, maybe he plays 27 minutes a game, and so on and so forth, right? So with that said, and as soft as the NBA is, if I had to put money on it, I would say today, right now, I would say no, because of that factor. Not because of their talent level, but I'm just saying as the season is going to go on, you get a little bored, it wears you down. You say, listen, the prize isn't the 73 wins. We saw what happened with Golden State. How well that worked out, right? The prize is holding that trophy up in June saying we did it again. That's the prize. And if that prize is to be had, I think that prize is won during the season, not by 70 behind winning 74 plus games.
Yeah. And we've got a couple viewers in the chat, so I want to first, if you guys have a chance, make sure to check out our sponsors, Matt Gaddis of State Farm, and then not only that, Wired to the Nines. If you need any low voltage help, make sure to contact Wired to the Nines at wiredtothenines@yahoo.com, and then make sure to also, of course, check out Matt Gaddis if you need any insurance help. I would agree with you, Darrell. I think I think the Thunder are on pace. I think they will break this record. Maybe it's 74 wins, but maybe it is 75 wins. I don't know. But the Thunder look absolutely dominant, right? And I already know where you stand on this side of the spectrum. You would love to see the Thunder go on a dynasty, everything else. I don't mind the roster that they've got. I'm not a Thunder hater. The only thing I don't want is for them to have that high of a draft pick. That's all I'm banking. That's all I don't want. If they win, if they go back to back this year, if they win 3 in a row, that's fine. It doesn't really bother me about that. I want good basketball, right? I would want another 7-game series, and if they win, they win. I don't want to go back to 2017-18 where it's 4-0, 4-1. I don't want those type of situations. But other than that, I'm fine with them winning multiple championships. I just hope it doesn't get to a point where, because you look at their contract, Shai's contracted for 5 years. Chet's
gets bored. It gets bored. You don't want to get bored.
I love the parity that the league has been in the last couple of years, and I think if the Thunder get a top pick, and obviously you still got to develop DeBonsa, Boozer, whoever they would get with that pick. Look at who they already developed, so you would assume the development will go in the right track. So that's more or less what I'm nervous about, and I think a lot of NBA fans, it's starting to be brought up more in NBA media and Twitter talk about this pick because the Clippers are only losing more and more games.
Yeah, but
and not only that, I figured out the Jazz pick because if I remember, I told you they also have the Jazz's pick. If that Jazz pick falls out of the top 8, the Thunder get that pick as well. But the pick has to be outside the top 8.
And that's great, right? Don't get me wrong. But also, I shared this last night on Cox Corner. Boston was in a very similar situation a few years ago. Very similar situation. Okay, wasn't as good. I'm not going to act as though Boston's situation was exactly what the Thunder's is. They had young talent, and they had a lot of number 1 picks.
Yeah,
from that New Jersey Nets trade with KG and Paul Pierce and all those things.
Yeah, we all remember.
Boston has won 2 titles in that span, and it wasn't back to back. I think they won it. They beat Kobe and the Lakers in 2010 or 9.
And that was before the trade. That was 2008.
But my point being, titles wise,
yeah,
and then they just won 2. Yeah, so let's pause our fear, and because you talk about general managers and presidents of organizations who have egos and who have feelings as well. And the other thing is this. You got a team of young guys. Yeah, they after every game they win, and whoever they're interviewing, the guys come and pour water on them and squirt all that stuff like that. That's all wonderful for right now because there's not a lot of adversity. What do young guys do when there's adversity? They've got their crew saying, "Man, this should happen. Man, this should happen." I don't want it to happen because I like the Thunder from an NBA perspective, other than Indiana. I like them from that perspective, but things can happen to where all of a sudden they turn against each other. Look at Shaq and Kobe. They were dominant. We didn't know as fans how bad it really was. I know you got some people, oh, I knew because I was on it was a Laker page I was looking at. Whatever. We didn't know how bad their relationship was. We didn't know they had multiple fights and all that stuff. And look what happened. They brought in Gary Payton, Karl Malone. They lost in the finals to the Detroit Pistons on a McTryhard team with the to me the best NBA coach ever in Larry Brown. And then all of a sudden, boom, here's where we are. So a lot can happen with the Thunder between the ears if things don't go right and if there's some adversity comes. Just saying.
Yeah,
that was a long answer.
No, you're all good. I don't disagree with you. I mean, something could go wrong. You know, injuries are always apparent. Obviously, no one here is wishing injury, right? I do think, you know, it's something to keep an eye on. And you look at what we're seeing right here, right? Obviously, the Wizards and the Pelicans have a significant gap, or I should say the Atlanta Hawks, because that's the Hawks pick. But you can see the gap there. But the Clippers continuing to lose games. The Thunder are going to be in a situation, if the Clippers don't make moves at the deadline, where they're going to be in contention for one of these top picks in the draft. We'll see what happens. You know, Cooper Flagg went to Dallas. Whether you want to say that was, you know, scripted or not is to be debated. So we'll see if Adam Silver pulls a couple strings when we get to the draft lottery. We're so far away from the draft lottery, but I'm telling you, the more and more the Clippers lose, the more and more it circulates in Instagram, TikTok. Everyone's talking about, oh, you see how good the Thunder are? Well, guess what? They have 2 first-round picks in the lottery as well. So it's something that is only beginning to grow more and more traction as the Thunder continue to win more games and the Clippers continue to lose more games as well.
I'll use this. I'm looking at this list here. Washington, New Orleans, Sacramento, Brooklyn, not so much Charlotte, because they hit on my guy,
Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller. And also they got the Ball when he was just a regular guy. There's a lot of misses on teams here, this top 10 on number 1 picks. And I'm talking about first-round picks. Washington has missed a lot. New Orleans has missed a lot. Sacramento has missed a lot. Brooklyn has missed a lot. So what I'm saying is there's no guarantee. Now, granted, Oklahoma City their leadership has been on par. But one gamble here, one miss here. Remember, Zion can't miss. He's a miss. You just never know. You just never know. And again, I don't want to belabor the point about Oklahoma City. Listen, man, I think they've got a chance for the next 10 years to be in the conversation for top team in the league for the next 10 years. If things happen right. Things got to break for you still. But again, if there is a dynasty, man, I could, if it's not, that number 5 team right there with that beautiful emblem, I'd rather it be Oklahoma City.
No, I hope not.
I know you. I know you know. But here, I will say this: for this year, I did do 2 future bets on San Antonio and the Lakers winning the title. I got some really, really good odds, and I know the Pacers aren't going to win the title this year. My preference to win the title this year would be the Lakers or San Antonio.
I get you a Lakers jersey.
I got some really good odds. Just if one of them team win, I'm buying White Castles. I'm just telling you.
Buying White Castle.
I'm telling you, I'm in a good spot if one of those teams win the title this year.
Well, I don't think anyone out of the West is going to win the West. I think it's going to be either the Thunder. I don't like, I was so
I think it's going to be the Thunder. I absolutely think it's going to be the Thunder.
I was so optimistic.
But you can hope, can't you?
I was so optimistic. I was like, man, Nuggets could give them a run. I was like, I've been so.
But they could. But they could.
I've been so lovey-dovey on the Spurs,
but Isaiah, they're not crazy off now. They're not. It's not like it's a 20-game gap between Oklahoma City and Houston, Denver. I'm not counting Minnesota. I think that ship has sailed. I think Denver and Houston are the 2 teams right there, right behind Oklahoma City. And then after that, I think the Lakers, if they can get their chemistry together. I guess my understanding is they got some chemistry issues. I guess Rich Paul said they got some chemistry issue, right? And Rich Paul never lies, right?
The Lakers?
Yeah, I saw some chemistry issues or something.
No,
was it a dream?
He's doing a podcast with Max Kellerman, who, by the way, great to have Max Kellerman back in media, by the way. He did say on the pod, I watched the full thing, he did say the Lakers are contenders. And they had a conversation about good organizations. He did say that he thinks the Lakers organization gets in their own way. He said, I would say they're a good organization, maybe not a great organization. I don't remember him saying anything about chemistry. I'd have to go back and watch. I do remember
I didn't watch it. I looked at a couple of podcasts and
clearly states that he doesn't believe they're contenders, and I think a lot of people don't think the Lakers are contenders.
Is that like a hint? Is that like a hint saying Bron's going elsewhere next year? Is that kind of laying the groundwork there?
Kellerman asked him outright. He was like, "Do you see LeBron being on this team the whole year?" And Rich Paul's like, "Why wouldn't I?" So, hey,
he didn't answer him then. No, okay.
He
That's
really
not an
didn't
answer.
him. Yeah. So I don't think I don't think he said anything about a chemistry issue, because if you look at the Lakers and how they've played, I think that's one of the reasons they're playing so well is their chemistry, right? Because I mean,
maybe I dreamt it. I just feel like I heard something about him, because I don't watch what they do. Any of the FFS, those players. I don't watch the podcast. I just saw it somewhere and said chemistry, and the Rich Paul guy said something about it. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he was talking about somebody, because he has got more than one client. So maybe he was talking about another one of his clients' team. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe so. Another thing I wanted to ask you, right? I've been thinking about this. I think I'm going to make a after hours video on it. Top 5 players in the NBA right now. I would say off the top of my head,
Yeesh.
I'm gonna say this, right? There's a stat being thrown around, and I'm gonna say it. I wanted to not say it for a long time, but I think I'm finally ready to admit it. SGA is the best player in the NBA. I think he is ahead of Jokic. I think SGA is 1. I think Jokic is 2. Jason Tatum's hurt, but I kind of want to say Tatum is 3.
No way.
No.
For me, I promise you, there's somebody watching this says, "Oh man, you're out of your mind. Tatum's definitely top." Okay. I just disagree.
I think Tatum is close to the top 5 rather than he is far away. I don't think he's 8th or something. I think he's like either 6th or 7th. I think Luka is top 5, but I don't think he's number 3. I would say maybe he's number 4, and that's me being that's me taking my newfound Laker bias away from him. So that's why I'm trying not to be
3 then. You said Tatum. Okay.
I don't know, right? I think obviously Jokic and Shai are 1 and 2. If you want to say Jokic is 1, that's fine. I'm gonna move Jokic down down to 2 and put Shai at 1. I think Giannis is probably 3rd. Giannis and Luka are probably 3 and 4.
Here's my problem with Giannis. The guys you just named, Shai, Jokic, Luka, right? In today's NBA, they don't have a weakness. And yes, Luka doesn't play defense, but you can't play defense today. You can't. So taking that away, because a lot of guys aren't able to do things, so Giannis, from an offensive perspective, he's a horrible free throw shooter. He doesn't have a mid-range game. He's got to get to the basket to be crazy effective. He's very long. I give you that. Good defensive player. Very good defensive player. I wouldn't have him. I wouldn't take Giannis above those 4 guys you just named. Tatum, Luka, Jokic, or Shai. I would not take him above those 4 guys. And believe me, I'm not a Luka lover. I'm not a Jokic lover. I'm not a Shai lover. No, I just, from a pure basketball perspective, nah. I would put Giannis. He would be in the top, 8 or so, but he wouldn't be above those 4 guys. And again, I don't think top players like the way you think them like that. But I think it's for me, in my perspective, is I think you're putting in the fact of championship with the Shai thing, won the championship, and what we see coming on board. Yeah, he's a hell of a player. But I like Jokic at 1.
I do too.
You know why? He hasn't slowed down. He's slow. He's unathletic.
He's always been that, though.
And he can't be stopped.
Yeah.
He can't.
I mean, like I said, if you told me Jokic is 1, that's fine. I think I am going to move Shai there. And
that's fair. I don't think it's like, oh, the nerve of you. I think it's very close. I think I would. That's not a hill I would die on.
I think when healthy, Tatum is in the top 5. I think if somebody told me Wemby's in the top 5 right now, what am I going to say? No. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. For now, I think Wemby's probably a little bit outside of that. I think Ant has a conversation to be in the 6th to 7th slot, maybe 8th. I think you take that group of players right there, Shai, Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Ant, and Tatum. I think those 7 right there, I think all of those guys are in that realm of conversation. There's not anyone else coming to mind right now that I think is in that conversation.
Let me ask you this is just off the top of my head, right? I don't believe in what other people say. I believe in what I see, right? Where do you put Brown in that deal with what Brown is doing without Tatum, without the help? Where do you put Brown? And I ain't talking about James Brown either. You know who I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, I know you're talking about Jaylen Brown.
Exactly.
Brown's playing well, and when we look at
where do you put him? Where do you put him?
They're 3rd in the East. They moved up.
Where do you put him?
If I had to think right now off the top of my head, I'd probably say he's a little outside the top 10.
Who's in front of him? And I'd
have to think.
You named a name that I absolutely think you got your damn mind about. You said Ant. He is definitely not the complete player Ant is. I mean, Ant is not the complete player he is. This dude has taken the scrap heap team. They remember they started off slow, and people were like, "Oh man, see, I told you, Jaylen Brown is the 3rd wheel." Pull his stats up. I had him, but I was on my monitor, and I'm not gonna keep flipping back and forth. That dude, and I sent you his stats 2 weeks ago. He's even better now.
He's playing good. I don't disagree.
He's better. He is better now, and that's with losing supposedly a top 3 player, the big man that went out west. That's with Derek. Derek still not playing very well. Pritchard's picked it up a little bit, the 3-point shooter. So come on, man. I think people need to start looking at Mr. Brown and not be worrying about, well, he's a smart guy and he's this. No, look at him on the court. This dude is shooting damn near 50% from the field, and he's not a 3 shooter. He shoots 3. When I say not, he's not a Pritchard, right? He's not a guy like this. Dude is balling, and he's carrying that team. No one thought. Mr. Microphone. No one thought they'd be a 3rd seed in the middle of December. You can't find me a soul that would have said that, because they all love dismantling Brown. He's robbing. He's not this. He's not. What is he now? He's the same dude. He's smart enough to know he needs Tatum. That's what people don't appreciate. This guy, he could be selfish.
Mm-hmm.
He was shooting 50% from the field. A superstar shooting 50% from the field, and on top of that, he's a better defensive player than Tatum. You gonna tell me he's not?
That's a good point.
I mean, click on Boston and look at his stats.
I'll pull them up.
Give you that, man. I'm telling you, because it's funny, right? When you and somebody else is like I'll say knocking me and call him Robin, right? Kind of a backhand.
I never called him Robin. Well,
you were saying, well, he's not the best player on the team, and I get that. It was you and Eli. It was on here. It was you and Eli. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. I didn't call him Robin.
I'm telling. I'm not saying, oh, look, I'm right. No. I've been consistent on Brown since day one. His issue was he's too smart in a lot of people's eyes for the NBA. They say he's too smart. The guy could have been a damn astronaut, man. You know how smart those guys got to be? That scared the NBA away, man.
He's averaging almost 30. He's averaging 29, 6, and 4. I mean, he's playing great. Yeah.
What is he shooting?
I gotta look. Hold on.
That's the key. Any knuckle, as Charles
you're right. He's shooting 49 from field goal range and then 36% from 3. So that's really good. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
he's
man.
playing good. I don't know where.
If you don't have Jaylen Brown today in your top 7, you're high. You're high.
So you think he's better than Ant?
You know why I think he's better than Ant? I think he's a better teammate than Ant. I think he's a better defender than Ant. I think he's more reliable than Ant. And also, he doesn't cause the issues that are surrounding a person like Ant that he has with Brown. Absolutely.
What issues is Ant causing right now?
Today, probably nothing, but this year. I mean, it's the headlines are not positive headlines, right? So
what negative headline?
This ain't that show. Come on, man.
I'm going to say it because it's the context of the argument. The baby mama drama has been over with for months. We don't.
I still see posts of it. What are you talking about? It's still being talked about.
It's not that big of a deal anymore.
Okay, so who are we to determine it is a big deal? Like I'm trying, and you're saying it's not a big deal. Who's right?
Because it's not in the media as much as it was. When it was brand new.
What's their record? What's their record?
Let me check. I gotta switch it over to the West. 15-9. I mean, it's the West. This is gonna fluctuate, just like in the East. It's gonna fluctuate.
I don't know, man. How many teams have they played in the West of that 15-9? I mean, there's other things going to play there. I'm telling you, I like Brown better than I like Ant. I would take Brown if you said I would take him.
Donovan Mitchell or Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown.
Interesting.
He can shoot.
I'm just
he can shoot. Yeah, he can shoot, and he's a more complete player. That was kind of easy, actually.
That's right. Okay. I'm just thinking.
Okay, last one for me, because we could go on this all day. Where do you put my boy TH? He's not playing this season like Tatum.
Halliburton?
Yeah, TH.
If I end off last season, he's probably in the top 10 at somewhere.
Okay,
somewhere in there.
I can't wait till he gets back. I think
like Donovan Mitchell is a guy I left out. I think Mitchell is in the top 10 at somewhere. He's either at the bottom or right out of it, or 10.
You know the beauty of this, man? It's all opinion.
It is all opinion.
And that's what's good about this stuff, right? So no, I'm with you. Donovan Mitchell's a hell of a player. Ant is a hell of a player. Brown's a hell of a player. You know, we have our picks and our choices. I bet you 50% of people would say Jokic, other 50 would say Luka, and this with that. Yeah, I got it. You know, so we're splitting hairs when you're talking about these players. When we're saying I would take this player of another guy, we're not trying to disparage that guy at all. We're just saying our preference would be this guy. But I can't believe I'm sitting there saying Luka's probably top 2 or 3 though. I don't like Luka. I don't like Luka.
With the way he's playing, you just can't. There's not really much.
I don't like him, but man, he's balling, man.
There's no way you can.
And he's trying to play some defense, And
I appreciate, because remember last year we were talking about Tyrese and how he's showing an effort. Luka is showing an effort.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what?
Well, it's like, what else can you say? You know,
he won't have the hands of Tyrese. He doesn't have the instincts on defense as Tyrese. Never. But all you can do is try, man. He's trying, man.
Luka's on. Look, he's on the Lakers, right? Lakers are my team, but I'm not a Luka like super fan, or like I'm not going to sit here and come on here and be like Luka's better than Jokic and Shai, because I just in my heart don't believe that he's better than them right now. I think when Luka gets to the playoffs, I think Luka's beaten the Thunder before. He's beaten these teams where he probably was supposed to lose. Like, look, when they got to the finals, they were supposed to lose a long time before that, right? So I don't doubt him when we get to that point. He'll show up in the playoffs. He's just got to get a ring. You look at the guys that I named that I would say are slightly above him: Giannis, Jokic, and Shai. What do those 3 men have in common? Yeah. There's a championship ring on each of them.
They've had better teammates, for sure.
That's true. They've had better built rosters around them. That is a very good point. But I think you got to get the job done at some point. And I think we're getting to a point now where Wemby's probably going to pass him up too. Wemby may pass up all 3 of them.
Listen, I'd be okay with Luka or Wemby passing each other up, and they host a trophy this year. I'd be okay with either one. Just from a personal perspective, I'd be okay. The Pacers aren't going to win it, so I don't have a dog in the fight. Now it's my pocket. Come on, Lakers and Spurs.
Yeah. Speaking of Giannis, we talked about this, I think, on the last time we talked NBA. Obviously, Giannis is probably getting traded at some point this season. And I think the more and more this has been broken down and talked about on other media platforms, I think Atlanta is going to be the destination. I know the Spurs are interested, in making a move for him. I know Detroit and Miami are two other names that have been thrown around in the hat. But you know what? Good one. I didn't even have that pulled up. What?
I was waiting on you. I was queuing you up.
Can you explain why you played that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, because Giannis has gotten coaches fired. He's asked for players to be brought to the team. He's been the innocent French victim. You know, the Pacers stole his ball and all this stuff. They treated him bad. The last two times his teams were in the playoff, he was somewhat pseudo injured. All these bad things, all this victimization. They're 11-15 with Giannis. They grabbed Miles Turner from the Pacers. They made an 11th hour deal with him, and he agreed to it. Miles Turner has been a big part of what's gone wrong with the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, I said that, and I'm a Miles guy. He's been a big part of what's wrong, but I'm telling you this, Giannis was okay with the deal. You're not going to make that deal with Turner 4 years at 26 million, and you're not going to reference you're a superstar. So you get what you get, and you don't have a fit. Yep. So with that said, don't be surprised if he's moved at the deadline. I just hope it's not to OKC, and I hope it's not to San Antonio.
Yeah, I would agree.
I hope it's Atlanta.
I hope it's in the East in general. I think Miami and Atlanta make the most sense.
I think Atlanta would be better just because they've got more younger assets. I think.
I gotta take a phone call. Can you?
I do your thing. I'll talk about Giannis or something. Find some hope. So as Isaiah's taking his call from his agent, trying to get more money for the podcast, I guess we can talk about Giannis and his failures. But I won't do that. Looking at the East here, as we got the Pistons at the top. Pistons are 19-5. They picked up where they left off in the playoffs. They're a tough-minded team. They've got a tough-minded coach, and they've set themselves up to be a number one seed in the East. Right behind them are the New York Knickerbockers. My guy Mike Brown has come off the scrap heap, went to New York City. In the beginning, there was a struggle. They had, they were saying they were shooting too many threes, and we don't know if he's going to be a fit because Cat is this and Cat is that. 17-7 is not bad at at a 70% winning clip. Right behind him, you got Boston at that 15-10. We just spoke about them. Boston started off, I want to say, 2-6 or 2-7 or something like that. They went off, the last 10. They are, looks like Boston is 7-3 in their last 10, which is pretty doggone good, led by Jaylen Brown. Behind that, the Magic have turned the corner a little bit. My guy Vancaro has gotten healthy now. Unfortunate, Wagner's out now. I think he's their leading scorer on the season. They're 15-10. Behind them with the Raptors at 15-11. One game out. I still don't think the Raptors are a real team. I think that top four is that area where you want to be from the East perspective. Sixers have a little bit, have righted the ship a little bit. They're 13-10 now. They started off rough. Haven't really followed them a whole lot, but it looks like they're trying to get things better. I know Paul George is back. Then you got Cleveland. As they get healthier, maybe Cleveland continues to climb that ladder, and maybe they make some noise in that top four as well. Then rounding it out, you've got the Heat, the Hawks, you've got the Bucks we talked about. Chicago has definitely cooled off from that hot start. I think they won 6 of their first 9 games, and since then they won 3. So they're in a tough spot. You've got the Hornets at 7-17. I think they're prepared for right now. They would be in a play-in tournament, but I don't think anybody would think they would be anything better than a last end of a play-in team with a lottery in their future. Then you've got the New Jersey Nets, had 5 number 1 picks. They're 6-17. They didn't parlay that into any veteran player at all. I'm not sure if they're trying to tank again for this season or what, but we'll find out as the season goes. Then you've got my Pacers. Pacers are 5-5 in the last 10. They're continuing to play hard. Pascal Siakam is leading the way. He's playing 33 minutes a game still. And the Pacers, they're starting to make a little bit of noise and a little bit of headway. I still don't think the Pacers are a playoff team as they're constructed because of the injuries. But however, with the East where it is, if you look at this, they're only, and I say only, a game and a half out of the play-in with the Horn. If you look at the Hornets right now, so they're a play-in team as it stands right now. So as the dust settles, you never know. But I'd rather the Pacers not be in the play-in, and let's see what happens in June. And then rounding that out, you got the Wizards. The Wizards are the worst team in the league, I think. They've had a lot of first round talented picks, but they haven't materialized. And the concern is with where they are, maybe new leadership, and influx of totally new players or what. But right now, it's not working for the Washington Wizards at this point. So that's my roundup for the East. I know we've got the West, and I can't click that on the West, but we talked about the West being the Oklahoma City's to lose. If Oklahoma City stays on the path they're in, there's no reason why they wouldn't be raising that trophy again at the end of June for a second title back to back. So that's the thought process on the NBA. We've kind of hit a little bit of everything. While Isaiah's away, I'm going to hit on a little bit of football. Last night we had Atlanta and we had the Tampa Bay Bucks. Atlanta, I can't believe they were down 14-28. They scored a touchdown and they went for two. I'm not sure why they went for two. I didn't have the volume up. They went for two. They didn't make it. They turn around and get another score, and they go for two again. They don't make that. I saw when I woke up this morning, they kicked the field goal and won the game. So if someone can tell me or share with me what happened with Atlanta and why they went for two when they were down 14, not 15 or 16, with that first touchdown after making it 20-28. And then I know they had to go for two on that second to try to make up for it. But if anybody in the comments can share about what happened and why that was done, I would love to hear it, because it doesn't seem like to me that they were in a situation where they needed to go for two, especially on that first. So if somebody's got a comment they can share, I would love to see what your comments are, because that was a risky move. They won the game, but I don't know what the calculation was on that. And maybe, it was analytics that said, when you're down 14, you go for two with X amount of time left in the game. So if somebody can share that'd be great. This is obviously the first weekend of fantasy football playoffs. Lineups are set. Weather's going to be cold. People paying attention to what's going on with all the teams, because it's fantasy football week. So hopefully, if you've got a fantasy football team, hopefully you're in the playoffs. Hopefully you're resetting your lineup and you've got guys that are going to be in there ready to play, and you can get a hoist the trophy, so to speak, at the end of the season. So hopefully it works out for those of y'all that are fantasy football gurus like myself. I'm in a couple of playoffs this week. My teams aren't the strongest, but all you got to do is win one, and you go to next week. So hopefully you fantasy football players are having some fun with this, and it's bringing enjoyment to the NFL. I don't want to piggyback on college football. We've talked about that ad nauseum. 12-team playoff, 16 teams, who was snubbed, who wasn't snubbed. Communications going on all week talking about, athletic directors are looking to freeze out Notre Dame because of their scheduling. You're talking about teams, hopping conferences again. There's a lot to be had and a lot of conversation that's going to go on over the next few months regarding college football and where it stands. Where I stand with it is this: I think there's going to be 2 or 3 power conferences, and when I mean 2 or 3, I mean 25 team conferences. Right? I think it's going to be something like that ultimately, because the money is where everything is moving to, and right now, the Big Ten and the SEC are the money makers. The state of Texas is big with money, but that's Big 12 teams over there as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's 3 big conferences, and you divide it out, and then you see what happens. Think about this: 3 conferences, 20 teams each. That's 60 schools. That's probably what you're looking at, something like that. And that's going to be an interesting dynamic as you go through with NIL, the transfer portal, players and how things go with players. It's going to be really interesting to see how that all shakes out. So hopefully your team is one of those top 60. I know for a fact my team will be one of those top 60, but it's going to be fun to see. And I hope that it gets resolved sooner rather than later. There's a lot of conversation on both sides of the fence with people being upset about what is and what isn't. Hopefully there's some clarity with what we've got and things can work out, big picture wise, long term. See, my guys made it back. I went on a couple things. I went on the East. I went on a little bit of rant on college football, a little bit of that. So, hey, I try to keep people entertained. I want to make sure that I give you enough time that you can have with your agent trying to get more money for the podcast. Definitely appreciate that. It's all about.
It was my guy from the school just trying to figure out, should I come up there tomorrow or not? So that's what we were. So I was like, yeah, I got to take that. So I appreciate it, Darrell.
No doubt.
I heard you talking about the playoff a little bit. I don't. Obviously, we're not the type of pod that's going to bring up that situation with the Michigan coach. So that's not going to get brought up here on this pod. But I think the only question we will bring up out of this is who will take the Michigan job in the future. Any thoughts on that?
Listen, man, all I'm seeing is Kalen DeBoer is already signed, sealed, and delivered. And it's tough.
But he put on his own Twitter. He was like, "I am not leaving Alabama." Roll Tide.
But here's people love it though. They love the drama. See, this is what's going to happen. They want to get reaction, right? Listen, whomever the coach at Michigan is, he will have to learn to beat Ohio State. If he doesn't beat Ohio State, he won't last long no matter what, right? Yeah. With that said, there's a lot of guys that are probably capable of handling that program. I would have thought the Iowa State coach, if he hadn't been at Penn State right now, I would have thought that would have been he said Brian Kelly. Hey, man, listen. I'm not going to disparage Brian Kelly, but he's not worthy of the Michigan job.
What about Chip Kelly?
I think the ship has sailed on Chip Kelly. When he left Oregon and went to Philadelphia, that was the beginning of his demise.
What's up, Eli?
He hasn't found his way since then, man. He hasn't found his way since then. He left Ohio State to come back to the NFL, and he gets fired halfway in the season when you got a guy who's got two of his sons coaching on the worst team in the league.
Eli, we gotta get you. We gotta have you be a guest on the show, man. We gotta get you on the show at some point.
Yeah. I think Brian Kelly needs to probably call Cincinnati and see if he can come back. Maybe get back to Cincinnati and where his roots were and go from there.
There you go. Hey, real quick. I know this is a more NBA show, and we can go back to the NBA to kind of end things off. Eli kind of agrees with you. That would be awesome. I want to ask you about Monday Night Football. Let's talk about Monday Night Football a little bit.
I just hit that. Oh, don't Thursday. No, I'm sorry. I hit Thursday now. I don't even know who played Monday. I don't even know who played.
No, you know who played?
I mean, today's Friday. That was 4 days ago, man. Hey, who wants to live in the past? Well, everybody wants to live in the. I've been told. Listen, all I've been told as a Alabama fan. Oh, you want to live in the past? Well, you're right. I'm trying to listen. Who wants to live in the past, man? What happened on Monday? Can you?
Well, I think Jalen Hurts threw 4 picks. He not only threw an interception, but also fumbled the ball. He had 2 turnovers in 1 possession. And Justin Herbert and the Chargers beat the Philadelphia Eagles in overtime. Justin Herbert.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something. I'm going to do this. I'm going to use the argument that people under 30 use all the time. How many rings does he have? How many rings does he have? How many rings does he have? Yeah. Every people under 30, that's all I ever hear. What about the rings? What about the rings? Okay. So I'll use that. I mean, I'm a ring guy. How many is Herbert? No. Listen, man. Jalen Hurts played his worst game of his professional football career.
He's got to throw the ball to A.J. Brown more, man.
No, we tried that and he lost that too. And stop using that dude's name. He's just that player from Ole Miss. We ain't using his name, man. And Dak has 0. So, but
hey, Dak's played better than Taylor.
Reef has been chiming in. But look, real talk. No ifs, ands, and buts, man. Jalen Hurts' worst game of his career. Give you that 100%.
Yeah.
He's got the Raiders this week. And people say, oh, he's lucky. The problem with that is Jalen Hurts struggles in zone defense. The Raiders play about 90% zone. So it may look good on paper, and I've done my research on this. If they play 90% zone and that's where Jalen struggles, look for Saquon Barkley to probably have a bigger game. Look. Hey, this ain't comedy hour. Okay, see, here we go.
Thank you, Eli. Brandon, I want to let you know. I think we're gonna have JB on the show Sunday. I'm not gonna let them get into a 40-minute rant about the 16-team college football playoff. I gotta say, that was an eventful dialogue.
Hey, listen, like Sunday. I said on the call, right? Because Brandon has said, hey, people are texting me. He's watching. People are texting me saying, look, man, we ain't got to agree on everything. Man, JB's my boy from the East Side.
I think we had an argument very early in the show about
it was the Lakers.
It was you and me and the Lakers. Yeah,
it was in May when I was in Orlando.
The argument JB and Darrell had that was 14 minutes. We probably did that in like the first 3 episodes of the pod.
Yeah, it was like continuous.
Yes,
it was like a bad breakup. It's like, I'm not done yet. I'm coming back tomorrow for more. But here's, in all honesty and seriousness, right? It's fine to say, well, hey, you have this point, I have this point. Okay, fair enough, right?
Yeah.
He said, please don't be on the plane and don't want to piss everybody off. Hey, it's nothing wrong with Randy, right? As long as it's not contrived. JB and I didn't plan that. That wasn't like, hey, you take this side and I take this side and let's argue about it, right? That's passion, right? But what happens is, with passion, it doesn't have to be personal. And with that said, man, the plan is we're going to hook up at Ale Emporium sooner rather than later, JB, because this will be a recording, you'll be able to see it. So, yeah, that's my East Side guy, without a doubt, right?
Yeah.
But with that said, we don't have to agree on everything. What I've found is JB's more of a closet Bama hater, and that's okay. And he loves me.
That's funny.
That's all good. That's cool. It's just it's okay to just let it be organic. So I had a good time with it, man. It was fun. And you have
well, look, WWE is allowed on this channel.
And that's the other thing too. Those guys, and I'll say it again, and not just because Brandon's chimed in. Man, years ago, they gave me like 40 minutes. I mean, like to just, and this is when they were on Block Talk. And I would just rant about college football or something. They never shut me up, right?
Yeah.
And it was pure passion. Right? Well, I want to say that's not. It was absolute passion. See, with that said, that's what we were the other day. It was a passionate conversation that at the end of hey man, I'm like, that's pretty fun. Okay. Ooh, you can smell what I'm cooking, and I want some more. And that's what's up, man. I love it. So anyway, but to that point, we're going to always disagree when it comes to Notre Dame. That's just, and probably Bama too. Yeah. But what's cool about it? There's sides on there's people on both sides that are really passionate about it.
And now, and I saw what JB said. So we're going to address the Notre Dame situation head on Sunday as well.
Hey, for whatever reason, our viewership is growing. Do you see how you said 45? Our viewership went from 6 to 8 to 12 to 15. I got lunch till 2:30, man. I got 40 minutes. I'm on lunch.
I love Notre Dame. No way 3 Bama walk. No, Bama deserved to be in. And I said this on Monday. I said you can't
I
punish
keep
them.
seeing 3 losses. That's the example. 3 losses.
You can't punish them for being in the conference championship and then losing the conference championship. I admit they lost so badly that there maybe is an argument that they shouldn't have gotten into the playoff for how bad the loss was.
They were the number 1 seed in the SEC. They were the number 1 seed in the best conference in their title game, right?
Yeah.
The committee told you the week before they weren't going anywhere. If you look at, because they went from 10-9 after they beat Auburn. A tough game, a tough rivalry game, right? Always tough. They went from 10-9. Notre Dame didn't play. They did. They played. They won as well. They went from 10-9. That was the precursor, and we should have known then. There was no way they were going to be out. Because if you do that, then that's going to attack every other conference champion as well. And don't try to put BYU in the same conversation as Alabama. They're not. From a football perspective, they're not, and they never will be.
I already said this on Monday. JMU should not be in. I agree with that. But I do believe that Vanderbilt has a way stronger case to be in than Notre Dame. And like I said last week, that Texas clip that we posted has almost 2,000 viewers because I'll say it once again. We don't care that you lost to Ohio State. We don't care that you lost to Georgia. You lost to 4-8 Florida, Texas. That's why you were never going to make the playoff. But secondly, like I said,
you couldn't have said it any better.
Vanderbilt has a stronger case to be in rather than Notre Dame. And I see what Eli's saying. Notre Dame versus Bama, straight up Notre Dame wins. Like I said, and like I saw on Twitter, another hypothetical win for the SEC or another hypothetical win for Notre Dame. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Fact of the matter is Notre Dame didn't deserve to be in the playoff over Vanderbilt, probably not even BYU. So that's why they're not in the playoff.
Listen, no sane person could ever say Notre Dame versus Bama straight up. Notre Dame would win because it never happened.
Notre Dame can't and Notre Dame won't ever win a big game. If they would have won the national championship. I put $20 last year on Notre Dame losing the national championship with my brother, and I knew they were going to lose, and they lose. Notre Dame will never win the big one in the next game. It will never win a national championship in football.
Sorry, Notre Dame.
They're the Dallas Cowboys of college football. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, all you need now is Ramon on here defending Notre Dame, acting like he's not a Notre Dame fan. That's all you need now, right?
Now, look, we talk to JB. It'll mainly be an NBA episode, but we may start with the Notre Dame talk. And hopefully we have Ramon here so we have two sides of the coin.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, if you get JB and you get Ramon on here about Notre Dame, man, listen, you're going to be overran. Because you'll hear Ramon talking about the missed field goal from Ohio State, all the holding calls, the almost shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh, man, that running back was so close. Man, one more step and he'd have been gone. If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass so much. All right. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. We can do if all day long. So I don't want to hear no ifs.
Notre Dame hate is real. Vanderbilt really? Yes. Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we saw him play. That's why. Listen, I saw Vanderbilt play up close to one of the top defenses in the SEC in Tuscaloosa. That defense shut them out in the second half on. But that first half, if a couple things would have went Vandy's way, that would have been a closer game. Vandy has a real defense. They've got a real offense, and that quarterback plays perfectly in that offensive scheme. I still don't think he'll be playing on Sundays ever, but he plays well in that scheme. So I'll leave it at that from a Vanderbilt perspective. Vanderbilt's legit. And and Isaiah, you need to pine for Vanderbilt because you hit me in the throat about 9 weeks ago. So I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to rant about Vanderbilt and how great they are because everybody wants to watch Vanderbilt.
I did. Me and Ramon jumped you about Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago. But look, and not even talking about the woulda, coulda, shouldas, right? They beat ranked teams. Look. Congrats to Notre Dame. You beat Pitt when they were ranked number 23.
Don't forget Syracuse. They got Syracuse. And NC State. And they got Navy. And they got Stanford. Don't forget.
hate to break it to everybody, but Notre Dame.
Purdue. Hey, they powerhouse Purdue.
I hate to break it to everyone, but Notre Dame was just the real Indiana teams in the playoff. Look, Notre Dame didn't need to be in. We've got the real Indiana team in the playoff, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Oh my goodness. Ryan Grubb will be the new.
Yeah, you're right. He's 20, he's probably 31. I think he's got a teenage daughter. Fair enough. but at the end of the day,
wow, Eli. One thing you can't call me is
this dude hates the SEC. What are you talking about, Eli? He's just being truthful.
I'm not honestly, out of everybody in our podcast group, Brandon, Ramon, JB, Decott, I'm probably the least college football fan out of the five of us. I still enjoy the sport, but I'm probably the least.
But Ramon and JB are SEC haters. Now, I've got my boy Brandon. Listen, Brandon is on with me now, right? Brandon is a lane train aficionado. Brandon is the biggest LSU fan in Indiana right now.
He already had the on Sunday. I saw that.
Hey, listen, Brandon's we're closer. Hey, Brandon and I may be even closer than me and JB because I think we talked about getting down south to an SEC game. Listen, I would love to hang out at T-Town with Brandon, the LSU Bama. Man, I'd have to probably mortgage one of my granddaughters, man, and get a couple of bonus checks, a couple of paychecks. It would be very costly to be at a Bama LSU game in the next couple of years. We might have to go to like Peanut State or something like that, man.
Look, Crossroads would need to get 500 subs. We would need to get 500 subs. We have some money on
and keep going.
Yeah.
And all of our sponsors are gonna have to sponsor us to go down there.
Yeah. And they want to come with us too at that point. Obviously this was more of an NBA episode than a college.
How do we get off the rails, man?
Because when college football, that's obviously
it's the interaction. I'm telling you, the interaction. People are, I love it. I love, LSU Ole Miss next year. Absolutely, that's game 3. First game of the SEC conference is LSU and Ole Miss. But we're here for the people. We want to talk about what y'all want to hear, right? And yes, we want to talk about NBA, and we hit a lot of that. You missed it because you were on the phone with your agent. But with that said, we realize Oklahoma City is the team to beat. We believe that they are going to be the champions. We also believe that they have a really, really strong chance of, that 73 win mark. But I'd rather win 72 and win the title than 74 and not win the title. So I think that may play a part in what Oklahoma City does middle February on. Kobe Bean.
Sir. No, Lakers look good, but as a Lakers fan, I'm reasonable enough to say that we're not going to win the West. We're probably not going to get through the second round. We're probably going to lose in the second round.
Then what do you do with all that money you got when you don't re-sign Bron?
Bron needs to be traded.
Whoa.
Bron needs to be traded.
You're talking like he's just a role player at this point. You're talking like he's like the third wheel on a good team. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me.
He's a good player. He's still LeBron.
Do you think he's where do you put him on the tier on that team? Is he the first option, the second option, or third option?
He's the third option. Yeah,
how many minutes a game do you think he should be playing? Probably 20, 25? Because you don't want to, because he's such a defensive liability. I remember you saying that.
Like I didn't call him a defensive liability. Like I said, I think it's for LeBron, it's situational. It's a situational type of thing. If we need him to score 20, I think he's shown already he can put up 20 points when need be.
Like a field goal kicker, right? That's when you need him.
That's your words, not mine.
I'm asking you. Are you saying like a field goal kicker? He comes in when you need him, not all the way during the game, but when that special time when you need him to make things happen. like a
But
situational player.
when we
Like
need
Vinny
Braun to take
Johnson.
over, when we need Braun to take over, Braun will take over.
Like Vinny Johnson, like a microwave type
I'm not
of
going
player.
to say all that. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm asking. I'm not saying I would never disparage LeBron. I'm asking if you're a Laker fan.
I plead the fifth.
Because I just don't want you being misconstrued because of your commentary. Because the last thing I want are Laker fans or Bron fans to come at you.
Everybody can misconstrue what I'm saying, so I will say it as simple as this: LeBron is the third option on this Lakers team. It goes Luka, AR, and then Bron/Ayton. Bron can some nights be the second option, but the number one option on this team, night in, night out, is Luka Doncic every single night out. It does not matter.
But realistically, what you're saying, Bron could be fourth then.
Yes, Bron could also be fourth. He's 40 years old. That's what everybody's got to get through their thick skull. He's 40 years old.
So
and he's
how do you think
he's playing better at 40 years old than Michael Jordan did at 40 years old too?
You're exactly right. And that's an argument for Jordan fans, and I'm not one. But with that said, let me ask you this. This is a really good one here. So with that saying, Bron being a role player, do you feel like next season, Bron leaving the Lakers, how impactful will that be when he leaves the Lakers as the role player that he is?
If the Lakers make the right moves, they can be championship contenders.
Do you think they can be championship contenders with a LeBron James at 41 being the role player that he is?
Okay. No. They're going to look good. They're going to play really good. And I think Luka is playing so great right now where he may get them to the Western Conference Finals at its peak. But at its best, I think, or at its worst, you probably may lose in the first round if injuries happen, right? I think your middle of the road is a second round exit to the Spurs, to Denver, or to Oklahoma City, because either way you're going to run into one of those three. Hell, even Houston, right? One of those four. I think you have a better shot at beating Houston and San Antonio than you do Denver and Oklahoma City, but I still would give the edge to Houston and San Antonio. But I think there is somewhere in that world where if they can get San Antonio or Houston in the second round, there's maybe a chance they can get to the Western Conference Finals. But if you run into OKC and Denver in the second round, I mean, you can go ahead and light the blunt. You're going to Cancun. You're not getting to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, Bron better head to Cleveland at that point.
Hey, you heard him here first, y'all.
I'm gonna let you talk about this because you've been one of the biggest critiquers of Austin Reeves, but even you can't deny how good Reeves has looked on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
Would you say he's the most overrated player right now?
Absolutely not. He's played his butt off since last year. And I said on this pod, excuse me, last time on the pod, but now that with the network, what I said was he's making hay in a losing situation. Somebody's got to score. Now they're not a losing situation. He's the second best scorer on the team, and he's shown that. Now he's still somewhat of a liability on that other end of the court, but that dude has absolutely outplayed anything I thought he would do from our conversation in May of last year when I said trade him now before he gets exposed. I didn't realize how well he and Luka were going to play together, and then I didn't also think that they would steal DeAndre Ayton for nothing, and he would play like I said he would play in a comfortable situation. So kudos to Austin Reeves. I don't think he's the most overrated player at all. I think he's shown his worth. Eli, you and I agree. I think there's no better NBA player that I've ever seen in my life than Michael Jordan. However, we're not talking about that. From a talent perspective, and what in today's NBA, Austin Reeves is a hell of a player. I don't think he's top 25, but he's a hell of a player though. I absolutely think he's a hell of a player.
Brandon said Thunder Spurs new big rivalry for the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah, and I would like that. I think you throw Denver in that mix too. Jokic isn't nowhere close to being done, being in his prime. I think you throw Jokic in there. As we've talked about, Timberwolves are going to have to find themselves a point guard, but I think they're still in that mix because I think Ant is still You know, I get it. We're going to see differently on Ant, and that's fine. But Ant is – I'm not going to sit here. Ant is the type – Ant and Luka are in the same tier point, in my opinion, right? They've gotten they've gotten their teams –
Whoa.
Listen, they've gotten their teams to the Western Conference Finals. Ant has already proven that he is a number one option. He can get his team to the Western Conference Finals. For Ant, we've already talked about this. It's about getting over the hump and winning it. Well, right now for Ant, it's about getting to the finals, not maybe winning the finals.
They got to the Western Conference Finals last year, right? Or
2 years in a row. Both. And I
can't argue it. You can't listen. You can't argue facts. Can't argue facts.
Last summer when it ended, I said, and I said it on the pod, and even this season, Ant has become a better 3-point shooter. Now, I would agree with you in the sense that they do need a point guard, and that roster is not capable enough of winning a championship. But what I will disagree with is I think Ant is in that same tier with all the guys that I've listed: Shai, Jokic, Luka. I think he's maybe a step down, but he is in that group.
He's got to make other guys better. Who's he made better? That's the other issue I have with him.
And that's a good point. But I think
he to me, he plays still a selfish game.
Yeah,
which means he's not going to make his teammates better. And I know a lot of us can knock Bron, but Bron, man, hey, he's made other guys a lot of money by being Bron. I don't see how Ant has made other guys money. That big contract that the forward got last year, that wasn't because of Ant. They just didn't want to lose his impact.
Yeah,
that wasn't because of Ant. Cat got his big contract. That wasn't because of Ant.
No,
when he was in Minnesota. So Rudy coming over in the trade wasn't because of Ant. There is still in the backcourt.
Could you say Julius Randle has been better next to Ant, but maybe that is some of that because of Ant?
Yeah, for me, I like Julius Randle, but he's the same guy he was in New Orleans.
That's
17 or 18, going to shoot some threes, going to get sassy from time to time. Julius Randle is who
right.
When someone shows you who they are, believe them. I believe Julius Randle who he is.
That's right. Reggie, and Darrell may agree with me. I'm probably one of the most realistic Laker fans.
I'm not trolling. See, this goes sassy. Here goes sassy Reggie. I'm not trolling. No, I'm talking about James. The dude's a good player. Hey, listen, Isaiah's the one that said he's a role player and the fourth best player on his favorite team. I'm not a Laker fan, so I'm going to trust Isaiah's opinion, and I'm not going to share because I don't watch the Lakers like Isaiah. So Isaiah is the authority on the Lakers on this show.
Yep, and I'm right, Scott Nichols.
He's right.
Exactly.
You know what? Here, you need to look into the camera. Matter of fact, here's what you need to do. You need to look into the camera and talk to Scott Nichols at the end of this drum roll.
We don't need to do all that. I already talked about it plenty of times, and we'll continue to talk about it. But Eli states Reeves is going to be involved in a trade Giannis to the Lakers. I don't want Giannis on the Lakers.
Why? Why would you want a guy like that on the Lakers at the way their team is constructed?
Yeah, I don't need him. Why give up so much assets for Giannis?
You can bring Davis back for a second-round pick.
Listen. My biggest thing with that is I don't want to get Kawhi Leonard. And what I mean by that is Giannis has one more year left on his deal after this season. Now, obviously, it's LA. He more than likely resigns. But why not just wait till the offseason? Why not just wait till he's a free agent? If you don't get him, you don't get him. Use
your leverage. Use your leverage.
You've got two really good scorers in AR and Luka. Just build the roster around them. If you trade AR, that's fine. But we don't need Giannis.
Stop forgetting about the man in the middle.
And I was just about to say I'd like to keep Ayton.
You gotta include DeAndre Ayton here because this man is playing ball. You gotta include him.
I would like to use the $56 million that's being held up by a 41-year-old on DeAndre Ayton this summer.
Who's the 41-year-old? Because I want to be clear. We want to be clear on this.
LeBron James is the 41-year-old.
Okay. I'm just an innocent bystander just asking because I'm just fair and impartial. Reggie said Scott doesn't know basketball.
Lakers won't win now. I get the Lakers won't win now, but I don't think you should trade for Giannis. Why give up all those assets? Let some team with actual assets make that move. Atlanta has plenty of assets right now. If you look at the draft, they have a chance to have a top 3 pick, right? Because they have the Pelicans pick. Hawks have way more assets. I think if you're Milwaukee and you want to put butts in seats, if you want to still sell tickets after moving Giannis, why not trade? Why not go to Atlanta and say, I want Trae Young, I want 3 first-round picks, and I want, I don't know, Dyson Daniels or somebody, right? You got to make the money work, as Darrell always puts it. But why not Trae Young to sell some seats? You can still build around Trae Young. Honestly, I don't think Trae, like I said, I think Trae Young in the league right now is still a top 10 point guard. I think Trae Young doesn't get a lot of credit for he deserves. He's a really good scorer. I think Atlanta has tried and have failed because they always try to put a guard next to Trae Young. They traded for DeJounte Murray.
You know why, though, right? Because he can't guard an empty trash can.
And
they've got to put somebody back there to protect him.
I think Atlanta has gotten the roster construction all wrong with Trae Young. But Jalen Johnson is working out well. They've got the roster. Honestly,
I like Daniels better with Trae Young because you got a guy who's really active on defense.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you listen. Okay, when a lot of people they try to compare TH and the guard from Atlanta, you just talk about Trae Young. This Halliburton doesn't guard, man. He's active hands. He's just look at the games. Take the jerseys off and look at the games. Trae Young is disinterested in getting in front of anyone. He wants to throw his shoulders and do this and get on the Knicks logo and act like he's shooting dice. Dude, you've been to the second round of playoffs once, and that was under a guy that you got fired as well. My guy.
Actually, Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, I'm sorry, it was the Eastern Conference Finals. You're right. It was the third round. You know who was the coach?
Joel Embiid can't even say that. I'm just saying. There's a lot of guys that can't say that right now, and Trae Young can't say it. So.
Yeah, man, but it's gonna be a long, long way before Trae Young is closer to an Eastern Conference Finals again.
I mean, yeah, he's gonna be in Milwaukee. He's gonna have to wait. He's gonna have to wait a little bit.
Can you imagine him and Doc Rivers?
Doc Rivers needs to be.
Talk about a calamity. We need that calamity of air. We need that calamity of errors music. But if
I held up 2 pictures, one Brian Kelly and one of Doc Rivers, you would say it's the same photo. That's what Doc Rivers is. If you held up a picture of Brian Kelly, Doc Rivers, it's the same fracking photo. I want to go to our last topic before we kind of end the show. Speaking of head coaches that I don't like, Mike McCarthy. Floating around about Mike McCarthy going to the Tennessee Titans.
I responded to you.
We do disagree about this, but look, I was not a Mike McCarthy fan when he was in Dallas. 12 wins a season doesn't matter if you can't win playoff games. That's how I view it, and that's how I'll view it if Schottenheimer can't get it done. But right now, I would think, look, Mike McCarthy can win football games. Let's call it like it is. He can win football games. That's good and dandy.
With good teams.
With good teams. And I think Tennessee could use a coach with, let's put it out there, winning experience. I'm not saying, yes, he's won a Super Bowl. Whether you want to say that's off the back of Rodgers or not, that's fine. He's a Super Bowl winning coach.
You want it. No matter whose back is on, you want it.
He's a Super Bowl winning coach, multiple double-digit win seasons. I think this would be a good hire for the Titans. I think this would be a nice. It's like when the Jaguars hired Doug Peterson and they saw success for 1 year. I think it kind of reminds me of that, but I think you'll see more success with McCarthy in Tennessee than you saw Doug Peterson in Jacksonville.
My issue is this. I don't think they've got a quarterback. And McCarthy's not going to win without a quarterback.
I think he can develop Cam Ward. But I know you see Cam Ward.
I've said it since when he was in Miami. I said they would keep him in the game. He blowouts throwing deep. You know, he says all the right things. He's a straight line guy. And listen, I said it on the show back in the summer and spring. I said Shedeur will be a better quarterback then. I've continued to say that, and I just don't think Ward will be. Ward is going to be. Ward is going to be the guy that Mariota, who also started in Tennessee. That's who he's going to be. He's going to be a guy who's going to, or my guy, Crab Legs. You're going to be a top pick. Granted, Mariota wasn't the top pick. But
Crab Legs.
Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston. So with that said, he had pretty good numbers in Tampa Bay, but they let him go. And where's Crab Legs been? He's bounced around. Good dude. He's a great soundbite. Good backup. That's gonna be Ward. He's not a starting quarterback, in my opinion. And I said it then, and I say it again. As you've seen Shedeur, and you called it. So I got to give you credit. He will be a starter in the season, and he may not give it up. That's what you said. Yeah. And when he played, I said, well, he only played because of injury. And that was true. But then the second game, he played better. And then guess what happened? He played better. Third game, he played better. And I'm not of the belief of his coach has it against him. He's out to get him, and his stepfather's daughter-in-law, who was McCormick, who Deion threw it. Stop. This ain't Young and the Restless. We ain't doing all that.
Hold on. Stefanski won't.
But listen, we ain't doing all that drama. That's garbage. I just think, from I've said it, I think Sanders is going to be a better quarterback long term. And I don't think, listen, the year prior to Ward being the number one player in the draft, the year prior, he had a third round draft grade the year prior. You don't jump 3 rounds from a talent perspective. It was numbers. And Miami played it for his numbers. He had a look, this because you love the McShay and all those guys. Go back and look at McShay's draft grade when he was at Washington State, and then he left Washington State. Show me where Ward was. There's no way you jump that far because your talent didn't grow. His numbers grew, but his talent didn't.
I mean, to be fair, here's my counter argument to that is almost every quarterback that are in these mock drafts have basically jumped to the first round. Simpson, Moore, and
listen, we haven't seen what they've done in the NFL. I'm talking about Ward, and what I'm saying is he went from. That's why he went to Miami because when he put his name in the hat when he was eligible, the NFL said, "Nah, bro."
But that's smart.
I'm not saying he's smart. I'm not saying he's very smart. I get that. You know who else is very smart? Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones could have been a surgeon. He's that smart, right?
I don't think Cam Ward's.
Fine. Smart. We're talking about quarterbacks, right? And you got to be smart to be a quarterback. I got that. But with that said, Ward, he was a de facto number one pick because of how perceived weak the NFL quarterback position was coming out that year. Yeah. He got the benefit of that.
I don't think Cam Ward's looked bad.
I didn't listen. What I'm saying is this. I don't believe after his contract is up that anyone's going to say, woo-wee, let's give Cam Ward 5 at $260 million. Don't see it.
Yeah.
Don't see it.
I think Shedeur's looked better, but Shedeur's also on a 4-week sample size where Cam Ward's played a whole season of NFL football.
My statement was at the beginning of the season before either one of them played a down in NFL. And I'm sticking to what I said.
Would you agree that the Browns have a better roster?
I'm not gonna lie. Hell, I don't know. Oh, I could fake it. Oh, no, they've got hell, I don't know. But I know who's had more adversity. That's the kid in Cleveland. So I'm just saying, I like the Sanders. I like his confidence. I'm not like one of those people like, oh man, you got to start him from day one. I'll let that's no. He's biding his time. But at the end, when the end of their careers, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the quarterback that say, man, this guy dropped to the 5th round. Why?
And like I said when Dylan Gabriel got the start over Shedeur, I have been of the belief all season that Shedeur was going to play, and he played. You
made it clear he was going. I think you guaranteed it.
I guaranteed he was going to play, and I said when Gabriel played his first game, we had Ramon on the show, and Ramon said he looked good. I was like, he looked all right. I said Dylan Gabriel looked like a guy that was just trying to steer the ship. He didn't look like he was trying to do any more or any less. That looked like a guy that said, well, I'm going to throw this check down so I can keep my job. I'm going to throw this check down so I can keep my job. Shedeur is going to throw a pick, and now it's been announced he's going to keep the job for the rest of the year.
You know what it also says too?
Shedeur takes gambles.
You know what it says, no, Isaiah? How little they thought of Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah.
Dude, he played, I think he started, 3 games? Was it 3 games or 4 games? I know he started the overseas game and another game. So it just says to me, dude, we've seen enough of this dude. I don't think you'll see any more of Dillon Gabriel, not just in the Cleveland uniform. He may be on somebody's practice squad or a third quarterback or something like that. But no, man.
I think he'll back up. You don't even like Shedeur, apparently.
Jesus. You clearly haven't been watching the show. That's typical. You troll. But the point, that's what I'm saying. I don't have to be in love with a guy to give an honest opinion about him. I'm not a sack chaser of the Sanders family like a lot of others. I'm just calling like I see it.
I think Cam Ward will be all right. I'm not going to give out ceilings and everything else quite yet. I think Cam Ward has looked all right. I think he's done better than what I thought he was going to do this season. So that's all I'll really say about that. I think Shedeur did what I thought he was kind of going to do. I thought he was going to be better than Dillon Gabriel, but that's all I'll really say. I'm not going to say I expected him to throw for 300 yards and 4 TDs.
Right. No, I'm not putting a number on it for this season. What I'm saying is overall, big picture over their career, right? And just like we talked about, you say, hey, Sanders is going to be the starting quarterback. I'm saying now that Sanders is going to be a better quarterback over time than Ward. And that doesn't you don't have to be a genius to make that statement. Hell, you're just talking about it. And hell, I'm 50-50, man. It's like 50%. What the Kendall that came upstairs? I'm 50-50, man. I'm 50% chance I could be right, 50% chance I could be wrong. But I'm going to lean on the side where I think I'm 50% right, where Sanders is going to be the guy.
No, I would agree with you. I think Sanders he'll be the guy in Cleveland.
It's funny. We started off NBA, we finished up NFL. So give me your last piece on the NBA. What did we miss on the NBA before we get out of here?
Nothing really. I think we hit everything. My main point was the Thunder, to be honest.
We forgot. Remember, we committed to Scott. I'm talking about Scott Moore. Every call we got to mention December 31st, Grace College playing in Gainbridge Fieldhouse after the Pacers in Orlando. The Pacers in Orlando play at 3 p.m. Immediately after that game. Yeah. Grace College is playing someone. Doesn't matter, because as long as Scott Moore is there, that's all that matters. And we're going to be at that game representing the Game Time Network, down on the floor, hanging out with the best team in NAIA right now and the best coach in NAIA right now, Scott Moore. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I shared that. December 31st, New Year's Eve, 3 p.m., Pacers versus Orlando. Subsequently after that, Grace College will be putting on a hoop exhibition like no other.
Yeah, should be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
Definitely. Same here.
Funny enough, where you just mentioned that, my job denied me on that day. They actually denied me that day off.
We'll do it like I used to do out in school.
I'm gonna just have to call
this
off.
This is Isaiah's stepdad. He's not gonna be able to make it in today. He's got strep throat.
Yeah, it is what it is. I just saw we were doing the show and I saw it got denied the approval, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to just call off. I'm not missing Scott Moore in the number 1 ranked NAIA school in the country. I can't miss that.
Yeah, man. We're gonna have some fun, man. That's what I'm talking about.
This Sunday, I believe we're gonna have JB from Crossroads Sports joining us. Brandon, if you're still listening, I will do my best. Darrell and JB on their best behavior after last week. I know.
I'm just here so I don't get fired, man. That's all. I'm just here.
Me and Brandon both agree we may have to take your guys' phones away for a couple of days. We can't have you guys arguing like that, man. It's like,
hey, have you been looking at the chat group?
Yes, I've been reading it. Yeah.
Hey, no, man. I've shared my point, man. I'm not going to come off my point.
And JB, I I promise I won't mute you. I'll make sure.
Hey, listen, the least we can do on this show is give, in this case, on our platform, not just our shared. Hey, they gave me a whole lot of room to roam. JB, you get on Sunday, you got a whole lot of room to roam.
Yep.
I'm just telling you.
We're gonna have a full NBA show. I'm excited to get JB's thoughts on the NBA. Maybe we'll go back.
Let's see if you're excited after the call.
Look, whatever he wants to talk about.
Hey, JB can light you up like a Christmas tree.
I'm gonna give him the floor, and he can say whatever he wants, and I will be ready.
He gonna bring his background dancer Scott Nichols on too. And Scott gonna be in the background. Yeah, JB, you tell him. Yeah.
Well, folks, this has been an eventual event. I don't even know how to say it. It's been one hell of a show, a very comedic show, to say the least. Isaiah, your buddy talks. Wow, you just had this guy on your show yesterday. I don't know. Reggie's coming with some. Fair enough. That's fair enough. All right. Well, folks, that is going to do it. This was a very eventful, to say the least. Go ahead.
Got one more thing. Turn the music down a little bit. On my way back from work, my work visit the last couple of days, I met a young man named Juan. Juan is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's a private first class. He just left basic training in AIT at Fort Benning, Georgia. Juan and I had a great conversation on the plane yesterday. Smart young man, smart individual. He's a reservist, and he and some of his friends are working in a woodworking plant. They're making furniture, wood furniture. Sharp kid. Fort Wayne, I told him I'd send him a shout out. Congratulations to him graduating from basic training in AIT. 6 months of 11 Bravo work is real. It's not to be played with. So Juan, you keep on fighting, you keep on doing your thing, and great things are going to happen for you. And thank you for your service, and thank you for that conversation we had yesterday. Much love, Juan, for sure.
Oh, shout out to Juan. But folks, that is going to do it. We've got another show coming this Sunday. JB from Crossroads Sports joining the show. Should be an eventful Sunday, folks. So make sure you guys do enjoy your weekend. Stay safe if you're on the Midwest area. We've got a lot of snow coming in, so make sure you guys stay indoors, stay safe. No college football on Saturday to wind us down. I think it's
argue about.
It's only the Army and Navy game, right?
There's no only. It's Army Navy, and it's always go Army, beat Navy.
There you go. All right. Well, I never had a side in that game, so I guess I know my side now. Go Army, beat Navy. So there you go. You folks have a great weekend. That's going to do it for us. Once again, big thank you to Wired to the Nines and Matt Gaddis of State Farm for sponsoring the Game Time Network. We will see you guys on Sunday for another edition of Game Time Live.